Hey yo, and welcome to Callum's Corner. Welcome to the vlog. Right, first of all, apologies. I did say the vlogs are coming back properly, and then there's been a little gap between this vlog and my previous one. If you watch my previous vlog, you'll know it was an emotional one, and hopefully you'll understand. I decided to just take a couple of days away from the vlogging to just kind of process the death of Henry Kissinger, my guinea pig. I've woken up though this morning and I've kind of realised that actually I'm stealing my grief from you guys. You know, it's a situation, losing a pet, losing something you love, that so many people will go through. Many of you may have been through it, or you definitely will in the future. And actually, I'm stealing my grief from you. This is something that I should be sharing with you, so you guys know how to, maybe some pointers on how to deal with it and stuff. I know some of you kind of think I'm going over the top. You say to me, Callum, it's just a guinea pig, who cares? But if you have a pet and you care for it and you're responsible for it, you build a bond with that pet. And it's not just the death of the pet. For me, it's what it represents. It's so much more than that. It's the end of an era. It was a halcyon time when I had the pack of pigs living in Bristol and stuff. It's a sad time for me. And one thing I will say for all of you, a little bit of advice here, so you should listen carefully. You need to process stuff when you feel sad. You need to deal with your feelings. So many people in the world now, have mental health issues. I don't think I'm exaggerating when I say that. We live in a different time to our grandparents, but we face different battles to them, and they are battles nonetheless. And many people deal with depression nowadays and stuff. I've dealt with it, and I've come to realise that it's a little bit like a wall in your mind between you and kind of depression. And when you haven't dealt with that kind of stuff, you haven't been depressed, that wall is big and it's strong and stuff, and it takes a lot to break through. But eventually something will break through, especially if you don't deal with stuff. It will all pile up and it will break through. And once the wall is broken once, it's a lot more easier for the kind of tide to come back in on it. It's then your responsibility to rebuild that wall. And you do it by dealing with your feelings. You do it by exercise. You do it by making sure you've got the right friends and stuff. But it's your responsibility to do it. So I will always deal with my feelings. You bottle it up and stuff and save it, it will turn sour, and it'll be a lot more difficult to deal with then, dispose of that kind of toxic material. So it is important that you recognise when you feel sad and just let yourself go with it. I spent the last couple of days going on long walks with Lenny, a couple of family members over and stuff, just nice stuff to do, and it's helped me. Death itself is a weird thing, whether it's the death of a pet or a loved one. I've dealt with both, with my dad dying. And I don't know, you don't come across death very much in kind of everyday life. In movies and stuff, it's just dramatic, and, you don't get to see the kind of everyday struggle of it and, what you got to get through. I do enjoy, actually, if you want to watch something, 6 Feet Under is a very good series. I've begun watching that again. It's all about a funeral home and death and stuff. Yeah, it's interesting. But the biggest thing I would say when you're dealing with death or even just sadness, anything negative really, is life itself. That is the best cure for it. And I'm very lucky. I've actually got a couple of very exciting things going on in my life at the moment, which is helping distract me. Let me show you exciting thing number one. Let's go. So they're installing some internet cable down my road. The dumper truck has been turning around in my driveway all bloody morning, right? And that's not the end of it. So the guy who was driving that digger then, he came to my door earlier and he said, do you mind, I was turning around in there, which is dead nice, proper down to earth. Often when you get people with these kind of exciting jobs, they can be a little bit power hungry, but dead down to earth. And he said, do you mind, right, if we leave the equipment on your driveway tonight? Do I mind? No, I bloody don't. I mean, obviously, you'd be very naive to publicly admit that you were going to, have a look at the machinery, possibly have a sit on it, or film yourself doing anything like that. But, if it's on my driveway and there's no one round, I could have a good investigation, a good look at it, and possibly even have a sit in the digger. Bloody awesome. Oh, my excitement is palpable, honestly. And, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to abuse the trust that has been placed in me. I'm not going to abuse the situation and interfere with the machinery in any way whatsoever. The last thing I would want to do is betray the trust placed in me and get those lads in trouble. Like I say, they're a lovely bloke. But I want to say, I'm human. I'm going to have a good look at it. It's exciting. It's going to be parked right on my bloody driveway. I would have loved this as a kid. There's no shame in it, like in machinery. Diggers are exciting. Big dumper trucks, the bigger the better. Some of the ones over in Germany and stuff are massive. They're incredible. Big boats, love a big boat, steam trains, incredible bloody beast. There's no shame in it, they are awesome items. And not just steam trains, actually, all trains are pretty awesome. There should not be a stigma attached to it. So you know what, that's what this vlog is about. I'll tell you about something, actually, that happened in my childhood that almost shamed me out of my innocent love of these items. So it was Christmas, 1989. At that age, I had a friend called Ben. He had a sandpit down in his basement. It was awesome. We used to play like diggers and stuff down there with all his toys. He had so many diggers and toys and stuff. I was dead jealous. Anyway, that Christmas, all I wanted was one was a Tonka toy and the other was this caterpillar excavator. It dominated my mind. I wanted to take it to Ben's. I wanted to be able to show off back. We were only kids, but he did flex on me a little bit about his collection. Anyway, Christmas rolled around, Christmas morning. Young, innocent me unwraps my present, get the caterpillar thing. One of the first things my mum's bloody got right. Actually get me the present I want, right? Anyway, I'm dead excited about this. And I have a reaction that's normal for a bloke when they get excited, but maybe not so normal for a kid. I had thin pyjamas on, and I got a tiny little stiffy. It got noticed by my mother, and she shrieked about it, laughed about it. I'm a young lad, right? I have investigated this thoroughly. I've Googled it and stuff, and it is a natural reaction for some young lads to have if they get extremely excited. It's nothing sexual. Of course, it's not that age. I was like 8, 9 years old. Ridiculous, but she shrieks with laughter, right, and points. My little sister Amy, who's not much more than a baby, she's just a toddler, she gets het up in the excitement and she's giggling away, right? A psychologist would shame her for that action. She made me feel ashamed about it, and she was still going on about it by bloody New Year's. That's how I ushered in the 90s as a young child, having my mother laugh at me about it, totally normal reaction. And it feels good to get it off my chest, actually. You can't blame a young child for that. Obviously, I don't get excited sexually by them now. Yeah, I like diggers and stuff, but my excitement that way comes from, ladies. Don't get me wrong, I'm not, sexually excited about having a digger on my driveway. It would just be nice to have a good explore of it. I do like machinery like that. It's exciting, but not in a sexual way. Okay, it feels good to get it off my chest, but I do think you're probably going to mean that, so I don't care. I'm me. I'm going to be me. You're not going to shut me up. Hey up, and good morning to you all. Right, now, you guys, you know me well. I'm a glass is half full kind of person. I don't really like to rock the boat or moan a lot. But unfortunately, this morning, I'm feeling a little bit grumpy, and there is a small gripe that I'd like to get off my chest. Now, hopefully you remember, but it's been chaos on my road this week. They are digging up my road and installing fibre optic white fibre internet down there, and it's been a bit of a kerfuffle. Now, some of it's been positive. I've been lucky enough that they've actually stored some of the heavy kind of excavating machinery on my driveway, which was a real buzz, but there has been some downsides too. One of them is that they start dead early. They're, turning around in my driveway with their machinery and stuff all morning, and it has been waking me up much earlier than I like to wake up. Now, I know that sounds a little bit moany and stuff and kind of coddle and stuff, but I stream till like 11 o'clock each night, and after I stream, it does take me a couple of hours till I'm kind of ready to go to sleep. I kind of feel like I need to cleanse my soul a little bit. It's like a post-filth disorder or something. I'm not ready to sleep straight away. I need a little bit of time afterwards. So I tend to go to bed quite late, and they have been waking me up dead early. My eye bags are kind of growing by the day at the moment. But, it's not too bad. I can survive that. Now, the bigger thing, and I did mention this yesterday, my internet went down yesterday. It's not on again today. It seems to be now a pattern that in the daytime, I don't know whether they've had to turn off the internet supply to install their new one or whatever, but all day long, I've got zero internet. Now, again, that probably sounds like a small moan, but it's massively disabled me. It's cobbled me. I can do nothing. I can't do any work, any kind of second channel videos or anything. Can't reply to any emails. I don't have a telly. It broke when I moved down here, so I just haven't bought one since. It's been fine, like on the laptop and stuff, or tablet, phone, whatever, just watching Now TV, Netflix, BBC iPlayer. Without internet, I've not been able to do any of that. My 4G is pretty rubbish here on my phone. It's not good enough to use streaming services and stuff. So it's just been silent. And that's got me thinking a little bit worried, because this is something that could happen. It's not just when people dig up the road, the internet could go down. It could happen in a more major way. There could be a solar storm. The sun could eject solar flares and that could take the internet down. There could be a terrorist incident. Terrorists could poison the internet supply and make it go bad for us all. And what would I do in that situation? It'd be like living in a blighting bloody boots. The nearest thing to wireless I'd have is the radio. No telly, I'd just be sitting in silence. So I think it is worth thinking about that. I mean, I'm doing it personally, but I recommend you do as well. How affected would you be by a lack of internet? I, for one, am going to buy myself a telly just in case. Yeah, it's been a kerfuffle, and I'm not moaning about the work they're doing because they've been really polite, the lads doing it. They've been great and stuff. And, for all I know, to be totally honest, it might not even be them installing it. It could just be my current internet supplier, BT, just being their usual bag of arse. I can't wait till it's fully bloody installed, this internet, Wi-Fi, but local internet for local people, I'll be switching straight away. BT is a bag of arse, even if it isn't their fault this time. They're just crap. Yeah, difficult times, but I challenge all of you to think about your non-internet kind of readiness. It's important. Right, unfortunately, the situation does remain the same, but fortunately, I am dealing with it a bit better now. I spent ages just waiting for the internet to come back on, trying to restart the router and stuff, and it just wasn't working. Well, I got a few minutes internet. It came back on randomly for about 6-7 minutes, and then it was gone again. I tried to reply to a couple of emails off my 4G on my phone, but you can't type a message of any length on your phone. The little bits are tiny, my thumbs are too big. I need a keyboard to properly reply to an email. So I've given into it, realised that it's not going to be on for a while, and I've challenged myself to find something to do. What did I do before the internet? Books. I've gone back to books. I'm having a good read of a good book. This is a Mario Puzo book. He wrote the Godfather, and he just creates this incredible world. It's a world that calls to me in a lot of ways. The mafia, lots of honour, lots of honesty, pride. You make your own reputation and you live and you die by it. I really think I will have excelled in this world. But yeah, if you haven't ever read any of his books, they are dead good. So yeah, that's me this afternoon, just reading. The day has barely started and I'm already coming to receipt of some worrying information. So, actually, apologies if you hear my washing machine in the background. It is going. It's because I'm not bloody ready for this part of the day yet. So I woke up not long ago, right? And always when I wake up, I'll come down and have a frothy coffee, right? Then I'll make myself another one and I'll start pottering around, just tidying up for the day, washing up my late night snack stuff, putting a wash on and doing the hoovering and stuff. So that's what I'm doing this morning. On my second cup of coffee, pottering around and putting some bits in the bin. It's full, so need to take it out and change it. No problem, tie it off. And I go out to my driveway where the big bin is, stick it in there, and I turn around and I notice this old boy, Ralph, is ambling down the road. Now, he's a lovely bloke, this Ralph guy. He lives right down the end of my road. He's in his 90s, and he walks to the village and back every single day. He's incredible. I admire him so much. But he does like to chat. Anyway, he hails me, so I've got to go and have a chat with him. I'm slightly reluctant because I'm not a massive morning person. I do need 2 full cups of coffee before I feel ready to speak to anyone. I don't feel like my eyes are open. I like to think of myself as freshly made custard. And custard needs to develop a skin, to be left alone on its own, to develop a skin to be its most delicious. And that's when I'm at my most delicious, when I've been left alone in the morning a little bit and I kind of feel ready to talk to people. Also, I'm a little bit worried because I'm just wearing my Blackburn shirt. I haven't even got dressed properly today. And, it's a very cold morning out there. And I do suffer from kind of prominently erect nipples in the cold. It's not, it's not a weakness. It's just a bodily reaction. My reactions are good. It's natural. But this Ralph guy, he's not small, but he's quite hunched over now. And his head's a level with my nipples, and I was worried that they'd be quite visible. But anyway, I wasn't going to blank him, so I went over to chat to him. And we're having a chat, exchanging the pleasantries and stuff. And Lenny is heard. He's in my garden and stuff. He comes lollygagging over, jumps up at the fence. He loves Ralph. And it kind of sparks something in Ralph. And he says, Cal, I've got to kind of give you a warning, right? You need to be careful with Len, with her up the road, Elspeth. That lady I told you about, the one who moved in recently, who's got it in for me and Len. We had a confrontation. And he's explaining, just watch your back, because if there's anything she can get you guys in trouble for, she will. And he's going on about how much he loves Len and stuff, but I'm worried at this point because, obviously I'm not tricking myself. I know I don't get on well with her up the road, bloody Elspeth. It's not even, I don't know if I've told you that before, found out her name, and that is not, is that a name? Elspeth? To me, it sounds like someone coughing or something. Elspeth. Or maybe like you've been kind of surprise bombed. Elspeth, it's a horrible little noise, isn't it? I don't think it's a name, and I don't think she's a real person, a real human, if I'm honest. But it's what I'm dealing with, and now apparently she is actually. I've got definitive proof that she's got it in for me and Len, and she's going to get us in trouble at any point that she can, but she's going to try her best to, apparently. So information is power. What does she think is going to happen? I'm just going to lie down and take this. Now I know this for certain. Now that I know she's vocalised it to other people in my bloody community, in my road, well, it's game on of. I will find a way to make her life infinitely worse in a legal, non-threatening manner. You make an enemy of me, love. You've made a massive mistake. I'm like an elephant. I will not forget. Too bloody early to be dealing with all this. I just want to finish my coffee. Good afternoon to all of you. Today it's been a bit of a mixed bag so far. My internet remains an absolute bag of arse. But at least I did get through a morning routine today without the introduction of kind of unexpected stress, which I guess is a little bonus. Got to look at the bright side of life. Without internet, I've kind of been a little bit lost again today. I've been finding stuff to do. I've trimmed my bonds down, kind of cut my hair down, and I've started editing this vlog. I do want the content to start flowing again, so I thought I might as well get a start on it. Actually, I noticed that I kind of left you hanging back at the beginning of the vlog. I was talking about things that were kind of helping me get over grief and stuff and distracting me, and I gave you number one, told you about the excitement with the excavating equipment being on my driveway and stuff, and I went out to show you the road works, and I guess in the excitement of it all I kind of forgot to give you reason number two, and it's actually probably the more exciting one. Reason number two that is kind of a decisive, exciting distraction in my life is love. Well, actually, it's probably a bit of a strong way to describe it because I'm not in love or anything like that, but finally there is a kind of a possibility on the horizon. I've been talking to someone. I met them online, not on Tinder or anything like that. I did try Tinder, but it was an absolute bag of arse for someone my age. I tried a different dating website. I won't say which one because it'll only get invaded with people trying to bloody find me and spoil it for me. But I made a connection with a couple of people, and one of them happened to be an Estonian lady named Suvi. Now, initially, it wasn't. I wouldn't describe it as like a love connection initially. It was more of like a platonic thing. Just enjoyed messaging back and forth. Her profile photo, a couple of them, but they weren't all that. That's something like, she's Estonian. I think it's a technological barrier. The photos have been they weren't the best quality. But as we kind of carried on talking, it was an interesting conversation. Estonia sounds lovely. It's full of castles and stuff right up my street. But she ended up sending me a couple more photos that you could kind of see a little bit more of her in different kind of, light, which sometimes that's all it takes to just spark an attraction in your mind. And that's emotionally magnificent. You've got to keep an open mind. And suddenly, if you do see that thing that sparks an attraction, the right photo, which it was in this case, makes it more interesting. And kind of it's developed from there to the point where we've actually had a couple of conversations on the phone. Well, not on the phone, because she's over in Estonia, that will cost a bomb, but on, what's it called, Skype, but just with the voice bit. Again, she's not got a very good phone, so we've not managed to do the whole kind of video thing yet, but that is very much something to look forward to still. But yeah, it's been nice speaking to her. She's got a lovely voice, kind of not really, well, I don't know anyone Estonian, but she sounds almost Russian, kind of like a quite sexy husky voice. So, yeah, it's been a distraction, even if it ends up leading nowhere. It's definitely been a distraction and a welcome one at that. I am, I like to say relentless in my pursuit of boom boom, but there's not been a lot of it recently, what with lockdowns and stuff. So, yeah, it's something to look forward to. We will hopefully get a proper video conversation organised soon, and who knows where it will go from there. I've got, room here if she wants to come over to England. Yeah, exciting stuff. Hey up, right, don't worry, I'm just sitting on the toilet. I am fully clothed, I'm not pooping, I've already done that this morning. I've just got to bring you this idea while it's clear in my mind, right? So, last night, as I was drifting off to sleep, I got an amazing idea that really, it happens to me all the time. Just as I'm drifting off to sleep, I'll get a really good idea. Often I'll lose them. As I fall asleep, they just drift off and they never come back to me. But luckily, this one stuck with me. So, my idea is targeted poop for revenge. Now, obviously, this isn't an idea that I am planning to do. I'd be pretty stupid to record myself and say that I was going to do something that could get me in trouble. It's just an idea that someone could use. Someone who maybe had a dog, someone who had an issue with a neighbour who lived near them and they wanted to get a little bit of revenge. Definitely not something that I am going to do, though. So what I am thinking is basically, whenever I take Lenny for a walk, he poops within the first 300 yards of getting out of my gate. It's generally before we even hit the first lamppost. He unburdens himself. He'll often do another one later on the walk, but it's like the act of starting to walk just stimulates him in some way. So I started thinking, what if I started trying to increase that distance a little bit? What if, just for say, some random reason, I wanted to double that distance, which would take me to the end of my road where it curves around. If for some weird reason I wanted to make that my targeted area for his poop. Now, obviously you're going to say, well, that's way too ambitious, Callum. You can't train your dog to poop in a targeted area. Well, actually, I think sometimes you can throw good ideas out because it seems like too much work. Just each day a few more steps. I just hurry him along a little bit. He could then be pooping in a targeted area. Well, your dog could be, because it won't be me. Anyway, once you reach the targeted area, obviously you can't just leave a poo there. That would be an aggressive and illegal act. But what if, when you're picking the poop up, when you pick your hands in the poo bag and instead of getting them underneath the bag and just scooping it up, what if you pushed down? What if you smeared that poo over a large area? Obviously, you then pick up the remains of it in the bag and it would just look like your dog had a bad tummy or something. But, it would be there, unavoidably there, poo smeared into the stones around the house. The person who then lived in that house would, almost unavoidably in some way have to interact with those poo particles that were stuck on the stones, maybe stuck on their shoes, maybe it went on their tyres of their car. Maybe after a few weeks of doing this, you could get a very big patch of poop all around, so it was unavoidable. Yeah, something for someone who's looking for revenge against a neighbour to think about there. Hey, up to you. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. Mine was distinctly average. Actually, verging on bag of arse, to be perfectly honest with you. I knew it wasn't going to be a great weekend because it's the international football break. I hate the international body qualifiers. I miss normal football so much. The loss, it hits me again and again and again throughout the weekend. On the Friday, not doing your fantasy football. On the Saturday, not seeing the results come in. No match of the day. On the Sunday, no bloody Sunday games. The weekend just feels sparse and empty without it to me. And I made the mistake of answering a phone call on my bloody home phone on Saturday, and it was my great aunt Sylvia. So Sunday I had to bloody get on a bus over to her house. Sunday service tonight and is just not the one. Help her build a load of flat pack furniture for us she got delivered, and then have the most miserable bloody roast ever. It wasn't a great weekend. I mean, I'm not one to moan, but yeah, it was bang average, and that's being kind. Anyway, I've decided I'm going to end the vlog here because I do want to finish editing it. I want to get it up. I want to get back to doing a vlog every week at least. And the challenges have returned. Obviously, I've done a couple recently, but if you do have any ideas of stuff you want me to do for the challenge videos, please do leave it in the comment section. I'm currently planning an isolation challenge where I'm going to live under conditions of like prison isolation, you know, when they put you in the hole or something, 1 week just in a cell, nothing. Yeah, it's going to be difficult. But if there's any other challenges, slightly simpler ones that I could maybe do in the meantime, please do let me know in the comments. I will make it so. I'll leave in the description the links to my TikTok and all that kind of rubbish in case you want to follow me over there. Massive thank you to all of you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do leave a like. If you didn't, please do leave a dislike. Always want your honest opinions. And yeah, just thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.